I don't want to be treated like a slave. I want to be treated as a human being, and what's right is right, what's fair is fair.
What's fair is fair. An NBA YoungBoy stepping away from Atlantic after they tried to steer his entire career proved it. The industry showed its messy side loud and clear. This whole situation opened people's eyes to how harsh the business gets, even with folks you once considered family.
What made you leave Atlantic and want this new situation here at Motown?
I left Atlanta because I wanted to experience some more stuff.
Now picture this. It's 1997, and a 14-year-old Dwayne Michael Carter Jr. signs to Cash Money, seeing Birdman as a father figure. 4 years, everything looked perfect. Wayne became a hip-hop icon, dropping classics and fueling the label's success. But behind closed doors, problems were growing. The tension exploded in 2014 when Wayne went to Twitter with shocking claims about the Carter V. So what pushed him that far? The $51 million lawsuit revealed the truth. Wayne said Cash Money owed him $8 million upfront for Carter V and another $2 million to finish it, but he only got $2 million total. And things got even deeper once Young Money was involved. Since 2003, Wayne was supposed to own 49% while Cash Money held 51%. But Wayne said Cash Money filed copyrights under their name only, boxing him out completely. Then comes the wildest part. Remember Drake? Young Money signed him in 2009, and Wayne was supposed to earn a third of Drake's profits. But the lawsuit said Cash Money never delivered full financial records, meaning Wayne never knew what he was owed from one of the biggest artists alive. The Carter V moved 480,000 units its first week, proving Wayne's fight was justified. After winning his freedom, Wayne began warning younger artists about the long curse of bad label deals, showing how even legends can get trapped. But Wayne wasn't the only one. Now we move to someone who faced a completely different battle, Megan Thee Stallion and her war with 1501 Certified Entertainment. Her situation proved the industry still finds new ways to control artists. Megan signed in 2018 at age 20, just as her freestyles were blowing up. The deal looked good at first, especially with distribution through 300 Entertainment. But once she took off, the harsh reality hit. It was a heavy 360 deal. The label took a cut from everything she earned. But here's the jaw-dropper. After making more than $7 million from streams, Megan reportedly only received $15,000. Over 1 billion streams, millions generated, and the artist saw barely anything. Since she writes all her own music, she should have earned full writing royalties too. But the problems didn't stop there. The label blocked her from releasing music whenever they wanted more leverage, freezing her momentum. When Roc Nation stepped in as management in 2019, they tried fixing the deal, but 1501 refused and kept stopping releases. Courts had to step in just to let her drop Sugar or her BTS collab. Then things got even pettier. 1501 claimed something for the hottest and Traumazine didn't count as albums, calling them mixtapes to stretch her contract. Pure wordplay to keep her locked in. She eventually got out, but it cost her years of stress no artist should face. And now, we shift to someone who battled a whole different level of label games, NBA YoungBoy versus Atlantic Records. If Megan's story shocked you, this one feels like a crash course in how labels use contract language to trap artists. YoungBoy signed to Atlantic in late 2017 at only 17, taking a $2 million advance for a 5-album deal. At that age, $2 million feels life-changing. But by 2022, after dropping over 18 projects and making Atlantic millions, he was still stuck in the same contract. How? Atlantic played the fine print. They counted only 3 releases as albums, rejecting the others for reasons like different cover art or live tracks. They picked which releases counted while earning off everything he dropped. They controlled his masters, his publishing, and took cuts from music, touring, merch, all of it. By 2022, YoungBoy publicly said Atlantic was blocking his growth. He claimed they even kept his project colors from certain chart placements after it debuted at number 2. And in a deleted post, he warned artists, "Don't sign to Atlantic. They're not going to support you if you live a certain way." His image brought the label attention and money, but when it came time to support him, they went quiet. In 2020, YoungBoy asked for ownership of his masters and even offered 4 albums to get them. Atlantic still refused. When his contract was up in 2022, He rejected a $25 million renewal because he believed the label lacked integrity. A perfect example of how major labels treat artists like products. And Atlantic wasn't finished. Another artist had his own nightmare, Lupe Fiasco. If you thought Atlantic's drama stopped with YoungBoy, here's another twist. Lupe signed in 2005 with help from Jay-Z, and things started great. Food and Liquor dropped in 2006, earning Grammy nods. The Cool went gold in 2007. But as Lupe grew bigger, the tension grew too. After The Cool, things hit a breaking point. Lupe said Atlantic's president Lyle Cohen told him in 2008, "We can't guarantee promotion unless you give us a 360 deal." Meaning, let us take a cut of everything, or we won't push your career. Fans had to protest outside Atlantic buildings just to get Lasers released. And when the album came out, the label forced him to add pop-heavy songs like The Show Goes On and Out of My Head, pushing aside the music he actually wanted. In 2012, Mike Kaiser blocked his song Battle Scars, calling it a bad look. Lupe said the label constantly threw petty obstacles at him. And here's the twist, Lupe proved he could make hits. He even gave Bruno Mars the idea for Just the Way You Are. But Atlantic wanted ownership splits that heavily favored them. In 2014, Lupe said he felt like a third-class citizen at the label for refusing the 360 deal. He mentally checked out by 2009 but still delivered 3 albums, Lasers, 2011, Food and Liquor 2, 2012, and Tetsuo and Youth, 2015, just to finish the contract. His story shows how standing on principles can cost mainstream success but protect your creativity. And now, one of the most famous cases, Maze vs. Bad Boy Records. Back to the late 90s. Maze became one of hip-hop's biggest stars overnight. Harlem World went quadruple platinum. His smooth style influenced Kanye, Drake, and more. Everything seemed perfect. But behind the scenes, Maze had sold his publishing for only $20,000. Years later, realizing how much he lost, he offered Diddy $2 million to buy it back. That's 100 times what he originally received. Diddy still said no. Their tension had been simmering for years, but in 2020 Maze publicly called him out. Then in 2022, he dropped Oracle 2, accusing Diddy of hurting artists and surrounding himself with yes men. On Instagram Live, he added more claims, even mentioning issues involving Biggie's daughter being denied access to events. Maze said he was exposing a pattern of exploitation. Then in 2023, during heavy legal pressure, Diddy finally returned publishing to several Bad Boy artists, including Maze. But here's the catch. Maze still doesn't own his masters. The fight isn't over. Now we move into another modern example, Waka Flocka Flame versus Atlantic or Warner. This story hits hard because Waka spoke openly about feeling trapped. Waka signed with Warner or Atlantic around 2010, just as his career exploded. Eventually, his deal shifted into a full 360 setup, the type where labels take cuts from nearly everything. In these deals, labels can take 70 to 90% of income, and every cost, music videos, marketing, tours, gets taken from the artist's portion first. Things snapped in 2015 when Waka went on a major Twitter rant, saying he hated how the label operated and demanding his release. He said the label refused to invest in artists, hired unqualified staff, and viewed talent as dollar signs. Then he revealed a cold detail. After he was injured in 2010, the label's first question wasn't about his safety. They asked if he could still get to the studio. The publishing situation made things even worse. His Warner Chappell deal required 15 commercially acceptable songs each year, and the label decided what counted. They owned rights to future unreleased songs and could block anything they didn't like. Even his YouTube channel was affected. He couldn't monetize it, but Warner ran ads on it since 2013. That pushed Waka into EDM just to make income. He spent hundreds of thousands on legal fees before finally breaking free in 2016. But Warner still kept parts of his catalog for 15 more years. His experience pushed him to learn the business deeply and become an advocate for artists. Now we move to a boutique label nightmare, Lil Uzi Vert versus Generation Now. This proves smaller labels can be just as controlling. Uzi signed with Generation Now in 2015 under DJ Drama and Don Cannon. At first, everything was smooth. Love Is Rage made him a rising star. But once he blew up, everything changed. Uzi wanted to release Love Is Rage 2, but Drama kept saying it wasn't ready. Uzi accused the label of blocking him and said Drama didn't understand the new wave. Then came the financial drama. Reports said Uzi only got about 20% of the money from his massive hit XO Tour Life, earning around $900,000 out of a $4.5 million total, while the label pocketed the rest. Other artists chimed in too. NAV said he removed Uzi's verse because the label wouldn't approve it. By 2019, Uzi hit his breaking point and announced retirement at just 24. He said he was tired of block releases and even compared signing a deal to trapping yourself. In late 2018, he even rapped about trying to escape the contract. His situation echoed May's struggles years earlier. In March 2019, Roc Nation stepped in for management and helped Uzi get better terms. That led to the release of Eternal Attic in 2020, a major comeback. Drama later said the story made Generation Now seem like villains, but the tension had already shaped the public's view. By 2024, Uzi dropped Eternal Attic 2 through them, showing things had cooled down. Still, those years of delay slowed his rise during what could have been his peak era. Now we go to a quieter but financially damaging case. Tigger versus Young Money Cash Money. Earlier, we talked about Lil Wayne's struggles. Tigger went through a similar nightmare. He signed to Young Money in 2008 while still a teenager, touring with Wayne. It was a dream, recording non-stop, traveling the world. So when they handed him a contract, he signed quickly. Later, he found out he got no advance, and the lawyer representing him was also representing Cash Money, a major conflict of interest. Tigger said the deal was bad from the beginning. Here's the shocking part. Despite dropping massive hits like Rack City, Faded, Hookah, and I.O., Tigger claimed he never received royalty checks. Imagine releasing global hits and not getting paid. By 2017, he said Cash Money owed him $12 to $15 million. But when he tried to leave in 2016, he had to pay the label, even though he claimed they owed him. In 2014, Tigger said Young Money blocked his album The Gold Album again and again. He eventually released it independently in 2015. Tigger later sued Cash Money and Young Money for $10 million, saying they didn't pay royalties from Careless World 2012 and Hotel California 2013. He said the 2016 settlement meant to fix everything was never honored. But Cash Money responded by claiming Tigger owed them for unrecouped advances, a classic label move to avoid paying. In 2019, Tigger quietly dropped the lawsuit. The financial impact still showed. He later faced money issues, though he bounced back with independent hits like Taste. Even Lil Wayne was reportedly upset Tigger got released without his approval, proving how tangled these label webs can get. Now we move to another tough chapter, Kreayshawn versus Columbia Records. In 2011, at 22, Kreayshawn went viral with Gucci Gucci, 2.5 million views in a month, a cultural moment. Columbia signed her with a reported $1 million advance, but advances are loans.